Ladies and gentlemen, taking part in our flag ceremony today, family members from those who lost their lives at the Pentagon and World Trade Center on 9/11, the Pentagon Police, and first responders from Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia. Now, please, a moment of silence. The Pentagon Police Color Guard. Now, join us in honoring America as platinum recording artist Neo performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What a beautiful day. A day for remembrance and certainly a day of celebration. Celebration of the American spirit. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That is Troy Aikman. And Troy, we make the odd transition now of talking about a football game. But as we look at this series, the Giants have won 6 straight over the Washington Redskins. The Giants come in very banged up. You can add Justin Tuck to the list now. He's out with his bad neck, and all eyes are on Rex Grossman, who makes that first opening day start since 2007.
And it took until this week for head coach Mike Shanahan to name him as the starter. And so, you know, he wants to come out here today and prove that decision right. I really think, though, that the Redskins are going to change things up from what they did a year ago. They went out, they signed Tim Hightower. They've made some adjustments along the offensive line. They ran the ball well in the preseason. I think if you like smash mouth football, you're going to get a heavy dose of that from both of these teams today.
The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is standing by with Pam Oliver on the field.
And Joe, we're both holding on to each other. That was very emotional. Commissioner, what do you want people to remember on this day?
Well, we remember our great country, the people that died in this tragic incident, and the first responders and their families, all the people that have kept our country safe. And this is a great chance to remember them, because we'll never forget.
Do you imagine that people will be torn? Do they celebrate back to football, or, you know, do they think about the other side of it?
Well, we celebrated back to football on Thursday. This is a chance for everyone to come together and feel great about our country, the sacrifices so many people have had, and what we all have in front of us. And we've got a lot to be proud of. And in the NFL, we're proud, but we also recognize the people who got us here.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Joe.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And obviously back 10 years ago, sports really served a vital role in this nation, whether it was baseball, the NFL, as a diversion for a moment from some very serious issues that this country was facing. And now here we are 10 years later on a glorious day in Landover, Maryland, getting ready for the Giants and the Redskins. There's no better way You celebrate this game of football than a nice battle in the NFC East. And you look at the day, partly cloudy. We may have a spot shower a little bit later, but it is about as pretty an afternoon as you will find as we play here on September 11th. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell is here today and the Redskins honorary captain. Redskins will start with a football, and with a rule change here in 2011, the kickoff from the 35 will see if Brandon Banks has a chance to put his stamp on this game. Glad you're with us. And he will. From inside the 5, the little guy is out to the 25, and that's it. Deion Grant on the stop, and the numbers any way you look at it, Troy, for Rex Grossman, the statistics are not good with the turnovers. He has had that knack of turning it over at the worst possible time yet. He's a guy that back in 06 went 13-3 as a starter and took the Bears to the Super Bowl. First carry officially for Tim Hightower, the former Cardinal, and he picks up 4. Take a look at this offense, and there was one major change up front. Will Montgomery taking over at center as you look at the backs and receivers, and Chris Chester is the free agent addition from the Ravens.
Yeah, you talk about moving Will Montgomery from guard to center, and that's been an upgrade at that position, and then along with Chris Chester. This group performed well throughout the preseason.
Here is Hightower again, and not much over the left side. Got back to the line of scrimmage, that's it, and this is a defensive front that was already without Osi Umenyiora, and now they are without Justin Tuck, who suffered a stinger against the Jets 12 days ago, not active today, and they lost their middle linebacker Jonathan Goff, so the rookie Greg Jones starts in the middle. And there is Justin Tuck, who is also a leader on this Giants team. On third down, this one is incomplete for Fred Davis. And Grossman ends up on his back.
Yeah, Rex couldn't hold the ball as long as what he would have liked to. You're going to see pressure coming from this side. They just turn him loose. It's Michael Boley, the linebacker, and the offensive line. They don't handle the adjustment up front. Trent Williams, the left tackle, fails to come off of the block to pick that up.
Sap Rocca hits it. Hickson on the return. And it's handled cleanly by Dominic Hickson. And it's a 3-and-out. Reed Doughty just made that last stop, and here comes Eli Manning. Off a year where he threw a career high in touchdowns and interceptions, the most in the NFL, and it's an offense that led the league with 42 giveaways.
You know, you look at those numbers. If you take the 25 interceptions out of there and reduce those a little bit, I mean, he had a pretty solid year, really. 4,000 yards passing, but the demise of the Giants season last year was, in fact, all of those turnovers.
Ahmad Bradshaw coming off a career high in rushing yardage. A nice pickup on first down. And we welcome a new audience. We're playing in the late afternoon in Landover, Maryland. The Redskins went 3-and-out. And now the Giants, who have won 6 straight in this series and 9 out of 10, have a second down and 3 with the ball across their own 35. Here is Bradshaw picking up 4 and a first down, and we'll look at the offense starting with the backs and receivers in the combo last year. Bradshaw and Jacobs very good. Hynoski is the new fullback. Jake Ballard takes over for Kevin Boss at tight end. And then it's David Boss in at center, the free agent pickup from the 49ers.
And he's got his hands full today. He's got Barry Cofield lined up over him throughout the afternoon. On that last run, however, he did a nice job blocking him and giving some room to run.
On first down, Manning swings it out incomplete for Ahmad Bradshaw. And he had McIntosh right in his face.
And we talk about Barry Cofield. He went over to the Redskins, was with the Giants. Watch him here in the middle. That's David Boss, who we just talked about, who's the new addition along that offensive line. And this series so far, he's done a nice job on Cofield. Cofield, one of those not conventional nose tackles. It's the first time he's played that position since college. But he is able to get an inside push from that position, unlike a lot of bigger nose tackles around the league.
Here is Bradshaw. He's been featured on every play, and this time he gets 2. And right in the middle of it is the guy who is as reliable as anybody in the NFL, London Fletcher. They play a 3-4, and Fletcher is playing in his 164th consecutive start.
Yeah, London Fletcher, in fact, visiting with Jim Haslett, he said he's the one guy that we cannot afford to lose. He'll readily admit Brian Orakpo is their best defensive player, but London Fletcher really sets the tone for that defense out on the field.
On third down, pass is dropped. Dropped by Victor Cruz. Absolutely wide open, and Eli Manning, Troy, who's now searching for go-to guys. No more Steve Smith, no more Kevin Boss, is trying to find one, and he may not go to Victor Cruz for a little while.
Well, that's the one spot that they just have not been able to address when they lost Steve Smith. The inside slot receiver is such a vital guy in third down passing, and good route, good throw, everything, just didn't execute the catch.
And it's Banks on the return, shakes one tackle and can cross the 20. That's it. 7-yard return, a couple of drops on that first possession by the Giants. Rex back at it. No score.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
While the offense for the Giants talks it over, these Redskins fans are thirsting for something positive to happen here today for a team that won only 6 games a year ago. Grossman with a good pocket, but it's tipped and it falls incomplete. Gaffney, will say, was the closest to it. 2nd and 10.
And we talked about it in lineups there, the fact that the New York Giants are going with rookie Greg Jones there at middle linebacker, and that's tough for any player to step in the first game that you dress up for in the NFL, and all of a sudden you're a starter, especially when replacing the leader of that defense in terms of the guy who makes the calls. He's going to have his hands full against this zone blocking scheme of the Washington Redskins.
Grossman has to just dump it. As he had Boley in his face, he threw it at the feet of Cooley, and now it's 3rd and 10.
To follow up on that thought, you know, Greg Jones, a lot of times when you run the things that Mike Shanahan likes to do within the running game and stretch it out wide and get defenders over pursuing and then the cutback lanes, a lot of times that middle linebacker, he's got to be disciplined enough not to overrun the play and still be in the lane to make the play when it's a cutback. Greg Jones, they got him listed at 6 feet tall. I'm not quite sure he's that tall, Joe.
On third down the middle of the field, Gaffney is overthrown. Gaffney was in position for the first big play of the day, and Rex threw it too far. It's another 3 and out.
A pretty good route too, Gaffney on Corey Webster, and he starts him to the outside, and once Corey Webster got his hips turned there to the sideline, he was beat. And you just don't get that many opportunities like that in this league during the course of a game.
Waka hits a boomer, and it's Hickson. Nice return, flipped at the 40. 18-yard return by Dominic Hickson, who missed all of last year, but a flag is down way back near the line of scrimmage. Our referee today is Ron Winter. Hi, Ron.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 23 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That won't make Tom Coughlin very happy. It moves the Giants back. They were going to start at their 40. Not as good. No score in Landover.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.
Well, the two quarterbacks have combined for an 0-for-6 start. And now the active Iron Man in the NFL is Eli, because brother Peyton is out for at least 2-3 months with his third neck procedure. Eli has his arm hit, and that floats out of bounds. He's 0 for 3 with Nix the intended target. And Nix is shaking out his hand as he makes his way back to the huddle.
Well, and you see Eli Manning. I mean, he sees Hicks come back. See Nix come back with the shaking his hand. I mean, that's the last thing that Eli Manning wants to see happen in line of some of the guys that he's already gone without here this year.
Play action from Manning, and there's nothing out there. Ballard, the intended receiver, and the rookie Kerrigan was with him. And here's that first down throw to Hakeem Nicks.
Yeah, it was just him when he goes down and trying to break his fall. Is what caused it. You know, Nicks last year had a great year, 79 receptions, over 1,000 yards receiving, and he missed 3 games. In fact, 2 of the games that he missed were against these Washington Redskins, so this is the first time they've seen him in a while.
It's 3rd down and 10. Four-man rush. This one's aired out for Nix. Hakeem Nicks is out of bounds at the 2. Eli Manning kept it alive, and Hakeem Nicks was there waiting for it. 68 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
Well, you know, they're going to take advantage of the safety. You're going to see back here that he bites on the move. As soon as he comes in on the square end, you've got the safety, Reed Dowdy, who jumps it, thinking that he's going to get an interception or at least a big hit then on Nix, and then he takes it up the field. And give Eli Manning credit for keeping that play alive.
Dowdy is playing for the injured LaRon Landry, who is out with a bad hamstring. They play fake it. Ballard, but it's going to be Eli for the rushing touchdown. He did not have one all of last year, and here in the opener, Eli Manning scampers in from 2.
Here's a look at it. They're going to come out on the naked boot right there. Initially he's looking to throw it, but you've got Jake Ballard and they're running with him, and it just opened up the running lane then for Eli Manning, who smartly just takes it himself.
That is only the 4th career rushing touchdown for Eli Manning. And it is 7-0 Giants here in the 1st. Whoa, Cletus getting all up in your face. Here's the 68-yarder to Hakeem Nicks. It's set it up. Eli takes it home. 7-0 Giants over the Skins.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by KFC Popcorn Chicken. Today tastes so good.
Well, this is America's Game of the Week, and the Giants are out in front. 7-0. There's the drive, the big one, the 68-yarder to Hakeem Nicks, which ties his career best. And now Tynes will kick it away with Brandon Banks waiting for it, and the Redskins need a jolt here early. Banks takes it out and can't make the 20. Devin Thomas, the former Skin, down there to make the play. Eli Manning with his celebration after his 4th career touchdown run. London Fletcher and Haslett talk it over. 7-0 Giants. Mike Shanahan has a 5-year deal which guarantees he'll be paid for 5 years. Doesn't guarantee when Dan Snyder's the owner that he'll be coaching for 5 years with all of the turnover. And he is Shanahan going with Rex Grossman, who hands to Hightower, good for 6, and we go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, the Giants are so low on people. Defensive coordinator Perry Fuel told us everybody on the active defensive roster plays. The Giants defense just needs the people. Joe?
And that defense taking on Rex Grossman, and it was interesting that the Redskins didn't add anybody from a year ago at the quarterback position. They hope to resurrect the career of number 8. 2nd and 4, it's more Hightower, and he is just shy. Getting back to the line of scrimmage. Let's go to Kurt for a game break.
Well, part of the reason Donovan McNabb no longer in Washington, his first pass as a Viking picked off by Sean Phillips that led to San Diego's touchdown. Phillip Rivers, 2. Mike Tolbert, 1-yard score, ties the game at 7. By the way, the Vikings scored on the opening kickoff. Percy Harvin, 103-yard return. Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Kurt, we're back here. It's 3rd and 4. Grossman completes to Moss for a Washington first down.
Yeah, and Washington's first down of the game, or at least their first 3rd down conversion. And you know, that's an area where they had to improve from where they were a year ago. You look back at last season, they were the 2nd worst offense in football converting on 3rd down. They spent a lot of time on it in the offseason, rightfully so. And that time was a nice job of just picking up a short yardage situation.
Grossman pulls it back, throws behind Hightower, who makes a nice catch. And Tim is just shy of a first down. Now they're going to just give it to him, even though he was brought down short of the 40.
How about when we had a chance to talk with Tim Hightower on Friday, and you know, he's sure excited to be here in Washington. You know, last year he had his career high in rushing attempts, career high yardage, and yard per carry average, but he just didn't feel like there was a real commitment to the running game there and a commitment to him. And he came here and visited with Mike Shanahan, and he certainly feels good about things here in Washington.
Grossman fires high but caught, and downfield it's Moss for 22.
Well, they formed a pretty good pocket for Rex Grossman. Jamal Brown, the right tackle. You can see he gets pushed back a little bit, but at least he provides some room there for Rex Grossman to step up in the pocket. And then, of course, Santana Moss. He throttles it down right in the zone, just like a veteran would, and gives him a place to throw the football.
Grossman started this game 0 for 4. He is 3 for his last 3, trying to heat up as Hightower. Big run, Tim Hightower, first down inside the 20 to the 16.
Well, a couple of things here. You're going to see the left side of the offensive line. They're able to secure the edge, and then you've got Darrell Young, the fullback. Trent Williams here, and then Darrell Young's going to lead the way. That's just good execution, and that's really what we saw throughout the preseason with this offensive line. In fact, Kyle Shanahan said there's a noticeable difference this year from at any point last year with this offensive line. They're getting off on the snap, they're playing in unison, and that's the reason they've had so much success here in the early going running the football.
And they give it right back to Hightower, who is upended. Linval Joseph made the stop, and he's back to the line of scrimmage.
The other part of that with Tim Hightower is, you know, he said that in Arizona he always felt pressure to break off a big run because he wasn't real sure if he got stopped for no gain or so that he'd get the ball, for a while. And that's not the case here. He knows, in fact, it was true in the preseason. About half of his runs went for 2 yards or less, but he doesn't panic. He's very patient because he knows there's a commitment to the running game by Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, and he knows he's going to get more opportunities.
Grossman is in trouble, and down he goes. Canny was in there, but he was not alone. Pocket collapsed, and it's a loss of 5.
It looked like Rex Grossman was trying to work Chris Cooley, number 47. And Chris Cooley, I was watching him in warmups today. Of course, he's been, nursing that knee, and he obviously is not 100%. And I didn't think watching him in warmups he was running very well, and he didn't on that one. But as a quarterback, you got to know that he didn't have much separation, was not going to get open, and there's a big sack right there for the Redskins to take.
Cooley missed the entire preseason. It's now 3rd down and 15. Pressure, Grossman throws it, and it's incomplete, out of bounds, was Armstrong. Grossman under heavy pressure, and it will lead to a field goal attempt by Graham Gano. So the drive stalls, and it will be a 39-yard field goal try. There's a season last year for a guy who's got a big leg. Good snap, good hold, bad kick. And Gano is no good, wide to the right from 39. Justin Tuck, a leader here, a cheerleader today, applauding the effort. Giants up 7. There is Kyle Shanahan, who ran a top 10 offense in Houston with better weapons. Going over the pictures on the sideline as Manning hands to Jacobs, who bounces off the pile and then gets upended by D'Angelo Hall. Gain of 5.
Pretty nice run there by Brandon Jacobs. They had him stopped in the hole, and he just bounced off of him and was able to pick up a few more yards. And even he talked about how much better he felt last year with the limited number of carries that he had. He only averaged about 9 carries a game. At the end of the season, he felt good, but I think this year the biggest difference coming into the season is he feels a lot better mentally. He knows what his role is. He's embraced it. We're looking forward to another big year.
It is 2nd down and 5. Manning has to pull it down and now fires. It's caught by Ballard. And who says he can't catch a pass? Only 34 receptions at Ohio State. He's the guy now, and he's good for 18.
Yeah, I think he does pretty good when he's just able to run in straight lines for the most part. But, for a guy his size, 280 pounds, he moves better than what you would think. And that's really what he wants to prove. I mean, you tend to get labeled in this league, and if you're 6'6" and 280 pounds, you're going to be labeled as a blocker if you play tight end.
Kevin Boss has moved on to the Raiders. Now it's Ballard. Now it's Eli with a pump fake, and now just throwing it out of bounds. Was under pressure. There is no flag. Harrigan was right in the face of Eli Manning, and now the officials will talk it over to see if Jacobs was close enough to it. If not, it would be grounding. He was in the pocket, and it's grounded.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 10. 10-yard penalty and a loss of down.
Well, here's where Eli Manning was wanting to go with the football. It's a double move. He starts to the post, corner, and then back to the post. Eli Manning actually had time. He got off of Nix when he went to that last move. And you see clearly Eli Manning unloading the ball in the pocket. I think that was the right call made.
I don't think Tom Coughlin agrees with you.
Obviously.
In his 8th year, won it all in 07. starting out a season record-wise has been relatively easy for Tom Coughlin since. The Giants have stumbled down the stretch. 2nd and 20. And Jacobs picks up 2. So 3rd and long coming up. The NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's games, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned to raise money for Tuesday's Children in My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on items. 3rd down and 18. Manning steps up and throws it into the ground in the direction of Nix. And it's 4th down.
You know, Jim Haslett mixing it up a little bit. You're going to see they've got everybody up here, no middle safety, but at the snap of the ball, then they go bailing out. They've got one defensive back going deep middle, and so they change the look up so Eli Manning can't get a pre-snap read exactly where he wants to go to with the football. Initially, looked like he might get a home run shot. They took that away, and he had nowhere to really go with the ball.
Redskins had the 31st ranked defense a year ago. Nowhere to go basically but up. And here comes Banks. Nowhere to go for Brandon but down the field. In a return of 24 yards. Let's play a game. Here's a new Redskin.
Every morning I wake up, I crack open 6 organic eggs, put them in a blender and drink it with chocolate milk. It's a great shake. I go by the motto, purpose driven, so much so that I put it on everything I own. I'm Tim Hightower. Now, I also graduated from Episcopal High School right down the road in Alexandria, Virginia.
And went to Richmond, and he is now the man behind Rex Grossman, and he will get the ball a lot. He already has. Grossman backpedaling as he completes to Gaffney. And Grossman has to peel himself up off the grass as Linval Joseph gave him a shot on the 11-yard completion.
Yeah, Linval Joseph, who's taken the spot that was previously occupied by Barry Cofield for the New York Giants. He was able to get the pressure. And, you know, sometimes as a quarterback you get criticized for throwing off that back foot. Nothing wrong there when you've got someone right in your face. You do what you have to do. And Rex Grossman's able to navigate that and make a nice completion.
That was the 5th first down of the game. Here's Hightower. And a flag is thrown right on the edge as Hightower picks up 15. However, it is a hold, and it's coming back.
Yeah, they're going to get the big guy, Jamal Brown.
Offense number 77. A 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
See Jamal Brown there. He's got a hold of Dave Tollison, and it's when you're out on the edge like that and you're as big as Jamal Brown is, those holds are easy to see.
Tollison getting the start with Justin Tuck out with a bad neck. He did practice as recently as yesterday, but they're getting that stinger against the Jets. One of the best players on this Giants roster inactive. Grossman completes, and now it's dropped. And they're going to say incomplete after the hit. Anthony Armstrong lost it. Had it for a moment, but did not secure it coming down. And Kenny Phillips is proud of the hit.
Well, that's why he didn't catch it. I mean, he should have caught that ball, and when you start to go to the middle, he's anticipating the hit rather than securing the football.
Armstrong, the fastest player on this Redskins roster. High snap. Grossman fires high. What a catch. What a catch by Davis. A lot of high throws here from Rex Grossman, and Davis bailed him out.
Well, the real key is they don't jam up Fred Davis off the line of scrimmage. They gave him a free run right up the seam, and then Rex Grossman's able to find him. You know, dangerous throw, and a throw that you're really leaving your receiver unprotected. You got to get that ball down when you're throwing it into the middle like that. But Fred Davis is able to go up and make a play on it.
Go 4 calls, 59. Fred 80. Fred 80.
Should end the first quarter with this, and it's Hightower losing a yard. That'll do it for one in Landover with the Giants up 7-0. The Redskins trying to put something together on this 10th anniversary. 9/11, an emotional day already, and a 7-0 New York lead after one. America's Game of the Week is through one. There are the stats. Did you take them all in? Did you get them all? Here's Hightower. He's been busy over the left side on 2nd and 11. Picks up 6. There are the stats. And Tim Hightower, if he wanted to be the focus of an offense coming into this season, he has found that with the Redskins, who trail by 7. The ball at the Giants 37.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that they have committed to the running game the way that they have. I was more surprised last year that they didn't run the ball more. You think of the job that Mike Shanahan has done over the years with his tailbacks and how many 1,000-yard runners he has coached.
Go, go, go.
Blitz coming. Grossman throws. Gaffney dropped it. Right in his hands. Grossman could not have put it in a better spot, and his former teammate at Florida let him down.
Well, the Giants overload this right side. They're going to bring the pressure. They're going to bring 4 guys. Someone's going to come free. Rex Grossman takes a pretty good shot. This is a ball you just got to catch. We've seen that now with Jabbar Gaffney on a drop. We've seen Anthony Armstrong. They failed to connect on the deep ball. That's really the difference so far in this ball game is the Giants, they complete the big ball to Hakeem Nicks. The Redskins, on the other hand, Rex Grossman overthrows when he's got Jabbar Gaffney wide open.
So the Redskins in that in-between territory go for it on 4th and 5. Pass is caught. First down, Moss.
Really a nice job by Santana Moss knowing the situation, and as soon as he catches the ball, you're going to see that he immediately gets going up the field to ensure that he picks up the first down. A lot of younger receivers, they catch this and they widen it or they circle around trying to get to the sideline. Instead, Santana Moss plants the left foot, gets vertical, and first down.
Moss, who does it all, great blocker in the run game, had 93 catches a year ago. So the Redskins bypass a 55-yard field goal try, get a first down, and now Hightower turns that play into a positive, a gain of 3. This October, the American League's best teams will look to their brightest stars to see which one will become the newest hero that leads them into the Fall Classic. You see the names right now, the division leaders. The leaders in the wild card chase, the Red Sox, begins on October 8th, only on Fox. A blitz on 2nd and 7, and it's Hightower who is hit, spins forward, and gets 5.
We showed Perry Fuel a little bit earlier, and then, of course, Pam's report on getting everybody out onto the field. And, boy, he has had his hands full, during these last 4 weeks, getting this defense ready to go. And you talk about the injuries that have happened on that defensive side of the ball, and yet he hasn't lowered his standard. Last night, visiting with him, very optimistic. Still believes this can be an excellent defensive football team in spite of some of the losses that they've had.
They're being tested right now. A long drive put together by Washington. Blitz coming. Grossman flips it for Armstrong. It was knocked down short of the goal line. But a 1st and goal on a beautiful catch by Anthony Armstrong.
Well, Anthony Armstrong gets a pretty good release. You're going to see there's contact there. He just keeps fighting. But this ball, the throw really is what makes it, because it wasn't bad coverage. But Rex Grossman's able to throw it away and force Armstrong to lay out to make the catch.
Short of the goal line.
The question is, was Armstrong contacted? It looked like his leg was contacted by the defender, and so instead of rolling into the end zone with a touchdown, they mark it inside the 1. That's roll in coverage, and maybe got a piece of his foot. There is no review.
Yeah, I think he was down with the contact by roll.
Grossman trouble with his snap. Doesn't matter. Touchdown, Hightower.
Logan Paulson makes a nice block here, 82. You're going to see he comes up and gets on the linebacker, Michael Boley, just enough. And that then gives the edge to Tim Hightower, the rookie. Greg Jones is trying to get there, but just wasn't able to.
Hightower, 11 carries, 46 yards. And this to, in essence, tie it. Extra point makes it 7-7. He's a new Redskin. They're happy to have him. Tied with 11.5 left in the half.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By DirecTV, this season NFL Sunday Ticket is included when you switch. And by the Chevy Season of Doing event.
Look at the skies overhead. Dark cloud rolling in, and it was Tim Hightower rolling into the end zone. Santana Moss, a big conversion on 4th down that led to the touchdown to tie it at 7. And now the football blows off the tee. Gano has missed a field goal, 39 yards in this game, and he will get rid of it with a former 2nd-round pick of the Redskins, Devin Thomas, waiting deep. As Jim Herman has a linebackers meeting along the sideline for the Giants. And away it goes. And it checks backward. That's a live ball, and it is covered by the Giants. DJ Ware got on top of it. Why was Tom Coughlin mad? Because of this on the edge. Logan Paulson, 82, with a hold on Michael Boley. No call. Coughlin didn't get it. We're tied at 7. After that kickoff, it was covered by DJ Ware. The Giants will start at their 7, tied at 7. Here is Bradshaw, who picks his way out to the 12, picked up 5. Reed Dowdy on the stop.
That's a pretty good idea of the quickness that Ahmad Bradshaw has. I mean, they had him bottled up pretty good, but yet he was able to find enough of a crease to pick up some pretty good positive yardage right there.
Already got plenty of paint on his helmet. With over 10 to play in the half, it's 2nd and 5. Quick throw from Nix. And Hakeem Nix is wrestled out with a 1st down, a gain of 7. Arakpo out there to make the stop. And here are the early game headliners. Jay Cutler in a win over Atlanta. Matthew Stafford. This could be a fun year for the Lions. And Michael Vick did everything in a Philly win in St. Louis.
Big win there for the Detroit Lions. A lot expected of them going into this season, and for Matthew Stafford to really carry on what he had started in the preseason. A really nice game for him.
A little breathing room for the Giants with that first down, and now looking for big things. It's not there. O.J. Otagwe. One of the Redskins was closer to it than Manningham, the intended receiver.
Yeah, that's just an absolute miscommunication right there between Eli Manning and Mario Manningham. Manningham going to the post. Eli Manning expected him to stay to the outside, and I don't know how much of that, of course, he and Mario Manningham have been together for a little while. How much of that is a result of not having had an offseason together, but they've had plenty of time in previous seasons as well as the preseason games.
Quick snap count. It's Bradshaw. Fletcher on the stop. You saw Jake Ballard leave. Looked like he was grabbing at his hip, whatever it is. We're already without Travis Beckham, who is a former third-round pick and has not made a huge contribution to this offense now in his third year, and something gave in that right hip on that route there down to Bear Pasco.
Yeah, he didn't get hit. It was just some type of strain as he came off the ball.
Everybody coming. Manning backpedaling, just gets rid of it. And it's fourth down with pressure from Carricker and D'Angelo Hall. And Eli Manning has started this game 3 for 11.
Well, D'Angelo Hall, he came off the slot. They just did not have enough blockers no matter what the Giants were going to do. Eli Manning trying to redirect everybody, but they weren't going to be able to pick it up. He had a receiver who ran the hot route, but Eli Manning just didn't go to him with the ball. He just had to unload it.
Here is Weatherford, former Jet, new Giant, and he boots it out of bounds. A penalty flag is down. Trying to keep it away from Brandon Banks. Flag is down back at the Giants 28. Against the Giants, we'll see what it's an eligible man downfield. We'll see what the Redskins want to do. Jake Ballard, who finally gets a start.
An eligible man downfield on the kicking team, number 39. The 5-yard penalty will be assessed at the end of the kick.
So Ballard leaves the field. He goes to the locker room. Eli Manning got rid of it, then got popped. He is 3 for 11 to start his day. Skins have it. Tie game.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
It is a beautiful day just outside our nation's capital, Landover, Maryland. And the Redskins offense, that's what they have done their last 2 times they've had it. They've been able to move it. They missed a field goal and then popped it in with Hightower. Quick snap, and here is Tim Hightower, who loses a yard. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
McNabb's first pass as a Viking picked off, but he's completed 6 of 7 since then, including the 3-yard score to Michael Jenkins. And Minnesota is on a bit of a roll right now. They're up 17-7 on San Diego. Joe, Troy, and Pam.
That's a surprise with a team that a lot of people like, not just in the AFC West, but in the AFC in general. Good start for the Vikings and Donovan McNabb. That was not a pleasant ending for McNabb here with the Redskins. Over the middle, Hightower falling as he catches it, goes forward and picks up 6.
Right now, watching Rex Grossman, he's having a pretty nice first half here. His numbers would certainly look a lot better than what they are if he hasn't had some of the drops, but looks pretty comfortable right now in the pocket, doing a good job of getting back, especially on that last play, to his secondary receivers. Initially he wanted to go to his front side, but he's able to find Tim Hightower over the ball and stay ahead of the chains.
He is able to corral that bad snap. Armstrong just knocks it into the air. Good coverage by Webster downfield. And it's 4th down.
And what was it Rex Grossman was saying to us the other day that, you know, he really considers himself somewhat of a gunslinger, at least in the past, and that he likes to get the ball down the field. And that's one of the things that really hurt him when he was in Chicago. It wasn't always there, but he singled out Anthony Armstrong, talking about he's probably the fastest guy in the league at wide receiver. I think Deshaun Jackson may have something to say about that, but he likes this group.
Rocket hits it. Hickson will stay away. And we'll see where they mark it before we take a break, and the Giants hope to get Eli Manning on a roll. They're going to mark it at the 15, where New York will have it. 7-7 game here in Landover. The Giants were a 10-win team a year ago. Did not make the playoffs. And Eli Manning, after a slow preseason, is off to a slow start here today. Manning gets a good block from Jacobs and completes to Manningham. Brandon Jacobs with a terrific pickup block that allowed that throw to happen.
You're going to see Brandon Jacobs pick it up. Initially, Eli Manning doesn't trust that he's going to get there to make the block, and so you see him start to panic just for a minute. But they're locked up one-on-one on the outside. You're going to see then Mario Manningham, he's able to just turn around, and Eli kind of wasn't able to get a whole lot on it and then get the completion.
24-yard completion.
Yeah, but an excellent pickup by Brandon Jacobs, recognizing nothing was on the front side to pick up, peeling back and getting the free blitzer.
Here's Nix. Got around Josh Wilson, knocked out by Dowdy. Picked up 6.
You talked a little bit about Eli Manning and kind of the preseason that he had. It was not very good. And a lot of talk about his performance, and then of course, as we said, the loss of Kevin Boss and Steve Smith, and how was this group going to rally. And you know, in this game, it just doesn't look like Eli yet has gotten real comfortable, you know, with what he's seen of the Washington defense or what he's doing within the offensive scheme. It's been a little bit hit or miss here in this first half.
Here is Brandon Jacobs, who by his jersey is eventually held up by Arakpo. But a gain of 4 and a first down, and here are the offensive leaders for New York. Eli Manning also lost in front of him. The offensive line was such a constant with the Giants. No more Sean O'Hara, Rich Seibert. O'Hara was Eli's only center. Now he's working with David Boss. That running back combination of Bradshaw and Jacobs. Receiver combination of those two, Manningham and Nix. Eli fires high, but caught. And a first down grab by Manningham.
You talk about the offensive line and the protection, and David Boss, and this is what he's had to learn. All those checks at the line of scrimmage, you're going to see him here at center. But he's able to make the checks along with Eli Manning, and then he does a good job. I mean, physically, he's going to be just fine. It's just a matter of him being able to pick up this system. And so when Eli checks the things, which he often does at the line of scrimmage, David Boss, as the leader of that offensive line, can then communicate that to the rest of those guys up front.
Here is Jacobs on first down. He never goes down easily. And picks up 3.
But this is a nice drive right here by the New York Giants.
Got anything else, or are you done with that one?
No, hey, let's see what you got.
He tapped out. Started on their own 15. There it is. 5 plays covering 48 yards. 2nd down and 7. Good timing on that throw and catch. Nix to the 20. And with that 17-yard completion, we go to Kurt for a game break.
Well, everyone knows Cam Newton was the #1 overall pick by Carolina. This is his 3rd NFL pass, and his first touchdown to a wide-open Steve Smith, 77 yards on the score. They're tied at 7 with Arizona in the second quarter. And, Joe, Jimmy said it took Troy 2 games to complete a touchdown pass as a rookie.
Took me a whole year to get a win. What's he talking about? Touchdown passes were the least of my worries.
Here is Jacobs, full head of steam, and he sets up a 1st and goal at the 6. And now the Giants starting to flex a little muscle. 14-yard run by Jacobs.
Yeah, they get behind their Pro Bowl player here, Chris Snee. This is one of the staples of this New York Giant running game. You see the lane, and you know Stephen Bowen comes in with an arm right there, and that is not going to get it done against Brandon Jacobs. Now, you think about it, you've got him at 265 pounds, and then Henry Hynoski, the rookie fullback, he's 200, almost 70 pounds.
Here is Bradshaw, a little shake, and a touchdown. Jacobs helped get him down there as much with his running as he did with his blocking.
Well, Henry Hynoski, I think he's had a heck of a first half here as a lead blocker. You're going to see him right here, 45. He does a nice job of stabilizing the point there, and then the move by Ahmad Bradshaw and Reed Doughty is what gets him into the end zone.
Aikman called it early. It was indeed a good drive. 8 plays covering 85 yards. And it was Ahmad Bradshaw who gave a little head fake, a little wiggle, then drove his way right through Rocky McIntosh and in for the touchdown. And that was more of what you expect, not just from Eli Manning, Troy, but from the Giants up front and with their running game.
Yeah, I think that's really the way that the Giants are going to ultimately move the football and have their success. When you know what we saw was a lot of the running game there with Bradshaw and Jacobs, and then the quick passing game by Eli Manning, getting it out quick, getting it to Hakeem Nicks's in his arms and let him see what he could do. But yeah, to go back to my point earlier, that was a nice drive.
That's just expert analyst work by you.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
That's right.
Not just to occupy a suit like some. Matt Aikman. Not the Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champ. You played for Dallas, so obviously you must be rooting for or against one of these two teams.
No.
Yeah, no, I know.
But hey, to go back to Cam Newton and making his first start on that touchdown throw, you know that the Cardinals defensive backs, because I've seen it, when our team would go up against a rookie or a guy making his first start, they're in there just talking about how many interceptions they're going to have against this guy, and
they let one get behind.
Oh yeah, that's usually what happens.
Steve Smith is still pretty good. And this one off the foot of Tynes out of the back of the end zone. This November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as the #1 ranked contender in the world. Junior Dos Santos squares off with undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez. A must-see live mixed martial arts event you can catch only here on Fox. Dos Santos Velasquez, November 12th, the Saturday, right here.
Good hunt. Red 80. Red 80's hunt.
So now Grossman from the 20 gets Moss and Santana. Even with all that changeover and consternation at quarterback last year, put together a 93 catch season. Has 4 catches, 49 yards, and 11 on the last one.
Yeah, well, change is all he's known here in Washington. You know, when you think about it, he's playing now for his 3rd head coach. He's had 4 offensive coordinators and 7 quarterbacks during that time, and the one constant has been him. And each year that he's been here, he's been the leading receiver.
3rd consecutive different opening day starter at quarterback for the Redskins, and Cooley gets into the fun as Rex Grossman is starting to settle in. We go back to '92. Redskins won it all in 1991, and here are the different quarterbacks in opening day starting for the Redskins since Jim George, Shane Matthews, Patrick Ramsey, Mark Brunell, Jason Campbell, Donovan last year, and now Rex. We're at the 2-minute warning. That is a total of 12 since 1992. That ties the most around the NFL since the start of the 92 season. 2 minutes left. Redskins have it, down by 7. Grossman has completed passes to 6 different receivers. He has all 3 of his timeouts remaining. 2 minutes left. Starting at the 46, this one wide open and caught down to the 15. Jabbar Gaffney.
You can see Jabbar Gaffney, he lines up with a short split, but then on the outside, Aaron Ross, he's outside leverage, and he got turned around. And because you've got Gaffney, who started him to the outside, he only widened that space between him and the safety and really gave Rex Grossman a great area to throw the ball.
39-yard completion to Gaffney. First down at the 15-yard line, trying to set up a screen. It's Hightower picking up 9. Remember, the Giants are without Terrell Thomas, their best corner. He led the Giants with 5 interceptions last year. Bruce Johnson, a corner. Prince Amukamara, their first-round draft pick out of Nebraska, out with a broken left foot. And also Brian Witherspoon, a cornerback. So they are hit hard by injuries in their secondary. It's 2nd and 1. Armstrong. Touchdown.
You know, they got one-on-one on the outside. Rex Grossman lays it up. Aaron Ross, you can see, he never is able to locate the ball. He turns to his left to look to see if he can locate the pass. By that time, the ball was already thrown, and it was on his upfield shoulder, and Anthony Armstrong's able to locate it for the touchdown.
I think it'll be interesting to go back and watch the feet of Anthony Armstrong. He was awfully close. Remember, all scoring plays will be reviewed, and they have reviewed it and say it's a good catch as Armstrong got that 2nd foot down.
That was a good drive too, Joe.
Yeah, good job. See, it's an answer with 37 seconds left in the half. And a penalty flag came down on that extra point. Here is the end of that catch. 1-2, good catch in a tie game.
Offside. Defense number 23. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Rex Grossman, through his first 4 passes, all were incomplete. He's thrown 17 since. Only 4 incomplete in that bunch, and that was a perfect throw from Rex Grossman.
Well, it sure was, and that was just a nice job of execution. You know, I mean, here you are opening up the season at home. Your defense is just giving up a long touchdown drive to the Giants, and you know, right before the end of the first half, and you're able to put some plays together and have it culminate in a touchdown. That's awfully good.
Coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights. The Fox Sports ticker will have all the latest stats. It's a 39-yarder to Gaffney that set up that touchdown throw to Armstrong, and it's a 14-14 game as the Giants try and win their 7th straight over their divisional rival, the Redskins. John Beck in on that conference. Beck came in 2nd in that quarterback derby during the preseason. Line drive kick just booming into the seats. By the way, there's been so much talk of moving the kickoff up to the 35. If you go back to last year, during week 1, 17.5% of the kicks resulted in a touchback. Coming into this game, 54% of kicks resulted in touchbacks. And despite what Randall Cobb did on Thursday night for the Packers against the Saints, we've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, and Percy Harvin, though, today, he got a kickoff return touchdown against the Chargers.
Mike Pereira, you may have heard him on Fox NFL Sunday saying the league is looking for 60% returns. As Bradshaw gets back to the line of scrimmage, that's it. And it appears that these two sides are content with a tie game after a half.
Yeah, sometimes you come out here at the end and you run the draw, and if you're able to pick up a nice gain, then you go into a no-huddle offense and see if you can't get into a position for a field goal. But yeah, Eli Manning's obviously just milking this thing out. But I think this first half went probably about like what we expected, Joe.
You said smash mouth. We've seen plenty of that. Giants got their running game going last time they had it. Giants will get the ball when we start the second half. Here is part of that smash mouth as Ahmad Bradshaw carries it in for the touchdown. And it was answered moments later by that throw to Anthony Armstrong.
I think coming into this game, two offenses that you maybe wondered about a little bit. Both went for over 200 yards here in this first 30 minutes.
So it is a 14-14 game. Visa halftime coming up after this from your local Fox station. We welcome you back to the start of the second half here in Landover. It is a tie game, and you can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So the Giants will start with a football here in the second half, and we look at the stats through 30 minutes. And I would say that after a half of play, first opening day start for Rex Grossman since '07, pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think really for both of these offenses, pretty good first half there. You know, the Redskins came out with Hightower, ran the ball pretty well early, and then after that, the Giants defensively against the run, they tightened up a little bit.
Devin Thomas will take it out, and from about 4 yards deep in the end zone, he can't make the 20. And we go down to the field. Here's Pam Oliver.
Joe, Tom Coughlin's main focus was Rex Grossman. He says we're not getting enough pressure on him. He also added that whatever we're calling defensively, we have to start getting home. Mike Shanahan said Grossman is doing a very good job, but overall he wants his team to start playing with a lot more calm. Back to you.
All right, well, we'll see how this second half starts at the end of the first half. Eli Manning got a little hotter. The running game started to work a little better. The offensive line. Jake Ballard is back in there for the Giants, left with a hip contusion in the first half. And here is Bradshaw, who picks up 4 over the right side.
We see Ryan Kerrigan, the rookie, involved in that play, and he's one of the pieces that defensive coordinator Jim Haslett feels is really going to help them going forward. He's a first-round pick. He was a defensive end at Purdue, which is often the case when they make the transition then to a stand-up linebacker in this 3-4 scheme. But you've got to have outside linebackers and you've got to have nose tackles to run this defense, and they now feel like they've got the right people in place.
2nd down and 6 just became 2nd down and 11.
First down. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
That is Hakeem Nicks. Tom Coughlin took over back in 04. He came to the Giants talking about limiting penalties, staying away from injuries. And this team was racked with injuries during the preseason. Blitz coming, and Bradshaw cannot get around London Fletcher. It was in his 14th year out of John Carroll. Won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and he just keeps on playing.
Ryan Kerrigan comes up the field, but London Fletcher, then he's got to be the guy who fills that gap. And you see he's able to come in there. Kevin Booth, who was pulling, he's able to get away from him and make a good tackle on the play.
Brings up 3rd down and 11. This one batted into the air. The rookie Kerrigan for the touchdown.
Well, that's the thing you always worry about. Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle, is going to try to get Kerrigan's hands down, but he's not able to make the cut. Kerrigan then is in the throwing lane. As the quarterback, you're just trusting that that guy's going to be on the ground because you've got to turn it loose on time. But Kerrigan, normally a ball like that's just knocked down, but he's able to bat it up and then locate it. You make the transition to a stand-up outside linebacker as a defensive end, and then to make a play like that.
That was Clay Matthews-esque. And so the rookie out of Purdue, in his first NFL start, knocks it up, finds it, takes it in. And just like that, the Redskins are up by 7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Madden NFL 12, available now. EA Sports, it's in the game. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
And so now we await the kick from Gano. Ryan Kerrigan with the interception return for the touchdown. And it's Redskins up by 7. Giants will start at their own 20. And we welcome you inside our booth. It was last year turnovers killing the New York Giants. This year, week 1, Kerrigan made a heck of a play.
Great play. I mean, how about that? The guy playing in his first NFL game and a new position and all the things that go with that. And then for him to make an athletic play like that, you know, pretty special. I think if you look at the Redskins right now, they are able to get the touchdown right before the end of the first half. And then the Giants get the ball here to open up the start of this second half, and yet a great defensive play by Kerrigan and coming away with a touchdown.
And the Giants will start on the ground with Jacobs, who picks up 1, and we go back to that play by number 91.
Well, you see the way that he's able to play off Kareem McKenzie. You know, defensive ends don't see that type of block. And so for him to be in a 2-point stance, that's just natural instincts on his part. And then he's shielding off Kareem McKenzie and knocking the ball up. And then here's the last play that they just ran. I mean, a great job there of taking on the fullback Hynoski, who we've seen just take people out in the first half. You know, I know Jim Haslett said, hey, I like this guy. He's further along right now than Brian Arakpo was a year ago when he tried to make that transition. He's showing it here this afternoon.
And Arakpo ended up in the Pro Bowl. Pressure. That was Arakpo. Eli goes down. And it's the rookie Neild.
Well, Rakpo gets a good jump here. Neild is the other rookie right over the center. They drafted him to be the nose tackle along with Barry Cofield, and he just is able to whip his man, but it's because of the outside pressure by Rakpo that forced Eli Manning to step up and give Neild a chance to be there to make a play.
And it brings up 3rd down and 15. Setting up a screen, Bradshaw shakes one tackle but will not pick it up. And a good bit of work by the Redskins defense, and after Kerrigan made the play on that last possession by the Giants, Chris Neild, who beat out Anthony Bryant for that backup nose tackle spot, is in for his first NFL sack on this possession.
Yeah, it's always nice when you see these young players come in and contribute. A lot of times you draft these players and you just don't know what they're going to be able to do. On this possession, we saw 2 rookies make nice plays.
Weatherford hits another good one, but a chance to run for Banks. Penalty flag flies, and Banks is just wrestled out of bounds by Diassi.
Well, Rob Jackson, number 50, he just decided to come in and just blow everything up. And then the flags flew.
Flag is at the 25.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 50, the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Good first day as a Giant for Weatherford. That last punt, 59 yards. And so the Redskins will have it as they lead the Giants by 7. So they're working on Ryan Kerrigan on the sideline on that left leg. As the Redskins have it, Rex Grossman trying to win here on opening day. Defense got the last points, and now Hightower cuts up field and picks up 2. Let's go back to Rob Jackson blocking on that punt.
Yeah, watch him here, number 50. And you're going to see him. He just comes flying down the field and just blows the whole thing up. That was definitely blocking in the back. A few of his own players weren't real crazy about that block.
And it's now 2nd and 8. Grossman, who made 3 starts at the end of last year. Redskins were 1 and 2. Floats one for a wide open Davis. And the big tight end who came in much better shape here in 2011 is good for 25 yards.
Well, we've talked about the problems because of injury for the secondary, and it's tough when you're not able to get the pressure. Pam did the report talking to Tom Coughlin and saying, hey, we need to generate more of a pass rush on Rex Grossman. We saw him get hit early in the game, which is generally the case for quarterbacks. Guys are pretty amped up. If you're going to get hit and not get much protection, a lot of times they happen early in games, but the offensive line has settled in. And they're doing a nice job right now. And with that kind of time, Rex Grossman's going to have a field day.
They fake the reverse, and now down the middle for Moss. Incomplete. Good coverage downfield by Aaron Ross.
Not bad coverage. It's a throw. You know, Santana Moss is so fast that if Rex Grossman, he had so much room to throw that ball if he just had enough arm strength to get it over the top. Santana Moss had a chance to really run away and go get that one.
Grossman, who really likes playing in the offensive system put together by Kyle Shanahan. She learned as a backup in Houston before coming here to Washington last year. Here's Hightower, and there's Grant on the tackle. Look ahead to week 2. And the early games, the Bears, Saints, Seahawks, Steelers, Cardinals, Redskins, or the Buccaneers and the Vikings. Late game, the Cowboys and the 49ers. It all starts with a Built Ford Top Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox.
Sure, a nice win by the Chicago Bears today against the Atlanta Falcons. Jay Cutler had him a nice afternoon.
Now 3rd and 9. Grossman with room, but he pulls it up. Armstrong can't hang on. It was there for a moment. Phillips knocked it away.
Good job by Rex Grossman of stepping up in the pocket and then sliding, buying himself some time. He had 2 guys he could have gone to. He could have gone to the sideline on a comeback route, which would have garnered the 1st down. But that's a ball that Anthony Armstrong, he's had a couple drops now in this one.
And now whistles stop the play before the punt by Rocco.
Prior to the snap, timeout, New York.
Timeout is taken by New York after Armstrong could not haul that one in. Still 21-14 Washington.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Dodge Journey, the search engine for the real world.
Giants had to use a timeout on special teams. That won't make Tom Coughlin very happy, as Rocca was last with Philadelphia, now in his 1st year with the Redskins. He's getting ready to punt it. Hickson waits deep for the Giants. We're down by 7. And Hickson gets a hit. He was evidently hit by somebody blocked into him. No flag. Antrell Roll made the block. Lorenzo Alexander banged into the body of Hickson. No flag.
Here's a look at that last play to Anthony Armstrong. You're going to see he's on the opposite side of the field. He recognizes that it's a blown coverage. He's got a chance. But right here, he's got a chance to make the play, and Kenny Phillips comes in and does a nice job with his left hand knocking it out, as you're going to see. But this is where you've got to be really strong as a receiver and bring it down, much like you would in basketball with a rebound, and be physical at the point of the catch.
There is holding. Number 22, the return team during the kick. Penalized half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
You didn't hear the beginning of that announcement. There was no penalty for running into the punt returner after the fair catch, but there was a flag all the way, and there still is back at the 40. And they called a hold against the Giants. As you watch on the right side of your screen, it's Derek Martin committing the hold on O.J. Atagwe. And it moves the ball back to the 10. And now just inside the 10, just inside the 9. Half the distance, as Hickson did not make it to the 20 on that return. First down, down the middle. Ballard hit in stride, and he's knocked down in midfield. What a throw from Eli Manning, good for 41 yards.
Well, the pocket that Eli Manning has in the middle, Barrett Cofield, David Boss has done a nice job on him. Of course, he gets a little help there late by David Deal, but here you've got Ballard running up the seam. And I don't know exactly what took Dowdy so long to get there. That far down the field with a ball thrown the way that that ball was thrown, a safety should be able to make a play on that ball, but yet Dowdy was unable to.
And now in midfield, pass is caught by Manningham as he takes it forward for 8. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Well, in the first half, Cam Newton threw 2 touchdown passes for Carolina. Second half, he throws his first interception, this one to Darrell Washington. With the return, it set up a Kevin Cobb to Jeff King score, and it's all even at 14 in Arizona. Joe Troing Pan.
All right, Kurt, here it's 21-14 Washington. Giants moving the football, 2nd and 2. Hicks makes a move and picks up enough for a first down.
It was a nice job by the Giants when they're backed up. You could tell the momentum had clearly gone to this Redskins defense coming out here in the second half with the touchdown by Kerrigan. The next time they got the ball, they were able to stop the Giants, had them backed up a third time. And then you've got the big play.
Completion to Ballard, which took it out to midfield. Now it's Bradshaw carrying it for 3. Bowen, who is in his first year with the Redskins, on the tackle. 6.5 to go, third quarter. Manning has completed 8 of his last 9. Blitz coming down the sideline, incomplete for Nix.
Go back and take a look at that play, Reed Dowdy. You're going to see him right here, and he's going to go over the top. He gets turned around a little bit. He feels threatened. They've got a two-way go on him, and so he's got to declare a guy. He felt threatened on the outside, so that's why he was so far removed, getting back to Jake Ballard up the seam. If he had played that without committing, that would have put Eli Manning in a much bigger bind on where to go with that throw.
It's now 3rd and 7. It would be a 55-yard field goal from this spot. Blitz. Manning over the middle, and somehow Manningham held on. Wilson on the stop. Manningham short of a first down. And it looks like the Giants are going to go for it.
It sure looked to me like there was a miscommunication up front along that offensive line. They turned Ryan Kerrigan completely loose on Eli Manning. That's why he had to unload it.
Pass on a 49-yard try. It's 4th and 1. Bradshaw does not get it. This defense of the Redskins, which ended the year ranked 31st in the NFL, now has an interception return for a touchdown and a hold on 4th and 1. The heart of the line held up for the Redskins, who lead it by 7. That is the rookie Ryan Kerrigan, former defensive end at Purdue. Interception return for a touchdown in this game, and the defense holding on 4th and 1. The Giants are the worst 4th down offense in the NFL last year, just 3 of 11. 0 for 1 here today as Hightower goes backward, and Jason Pierre-Paul was in the middle of that.
Now here's that 4th down play. Watch Rocky McIntosh here. He's the one who feels the gap and makes first contact then on Ahmad Bradshaw and stops him, and the rest of the guys slow him up. You look at this game, the Redskins, when they went for it on 4th down, they converted, they went on to score a touchdown. The Giants go for it on 4th down there, they failed to make it. And I think right now one of the stories of this game is really how bad the Giants have been. Not only on the 4th down play there, but 1 of 7 now on 3rd down. So they've just not been able to keep drives alive.
Play action from Grossman. A lot of room in front of him. And sliding along the line of scrimmage, he completes to Gaffney. And Jabbar Gaffney with Tom Coughlin giving the official an earful. There's Coughlin. They're saying it's a catch. And it's 12 yards and a first down.
The completed pass.
I'm not sure exactly what Tom Coughlin's arguing, if he's saying that he stepped out of bounds and then came back in and caught the ball, or if he actually caught the ball with one foot on the ground and then stepped out of bounds with the other.
Coughlin's going to challenge this play. Remember, all aspects of the play can be looked at in a challenge. Gaffney stays in. He taps his toes and then goes out.
Challenger ruling on the field of a completed pass.
So we'll be in a review. Come back and get the call right after this break. We are going to check in with our rules expert, Mike Pereira. Mike, there is a lot to look at on this review.
Boy, so much, it's unbelievable. Was he beyond the line at the release of the pass? Watch, the ball is snapped at the 30. His whole body and the ball have to be beyond at the actual release. I don't think it is. He's not totally beyond. Then did the receiver step out of bounds here? Watch the heel, the toes in. Does the heel get down out of bounds? And then lastly, you have that third element, which was where both toes. See, is the heel down there? You know, it's really hard to tell. And then you got to go to the third element when he actually caught the ball where both toes down. I don't think in any one of those scenarios do you have enough to overturn this call and make it an incomplete pass, or if they do rule it the heel's out of bounds, to make it an illegal touch. Yeah, I think you got both toes there. Wow.
I thought on the shot that the heel looked to me like the heel was on the line, and that's really when the sideline for the Giants started pointing. They began pointing before the completion was made. That's at the time that they said that he had stepped out of bounds. That's what the Giants saw. Now, you know, is there enough? It sure looked to me like his heel was down on the line.
I think I'm with Mike in this, because I don't know that you can totally tell if his foot, the left heel, is down on the ground. It certainly crossed over the line. I guess it's the right foot, but I don't know that the heel is down on the line itself. Remember, this was ruled on the field, Mike Pereira, a 12-yard completion on 2nd and 11.
Key point, and you could also be reviewing the spot of the catch too to make sure it's a first down. That's also reviewable. So you could add that fourth element as to whether it was a first down.
Have you been checked? Have you been checked with yet, Mike, so far this season?
No, this is like I'm on the line right now. You've got me on the line here.
So you want to venture a guess? You're going to say call stands.
I already ventured my guess. I just don't think this is. We got to stay with the fact of the indisputable visual evidence to overturn.
How long are these guys?
But I will say this: any time it's taken this long, you know, you have 60 seconds to make the decision, even though you have 4 elements you're looking at. So if they stay this long, you would tend to think now that they're going to reverse it.
We'll get the call from Ron Winter.
After review, with the ball in his possession, the receiver did not have 2 feet in bounds. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass.
So, really, of all those elements, the one that Ron Winter went with was that Gaffney's feet and the toes were not down when he made the catch, not stepping out of bounds, and not Grossman passing the line of scrimmage.
And I guess the Giants benefit from the standpoint that the play took place along their sidelines. That's probably not something that they're able to see enough of if it had happened on the Redskins sideline.
It brings up 3rd down and 11. It's a big call and a good challenge by Tom Coughlin. Over the middle. Davis has been busy. And Fred Davis on 3rd and 11, good for 28.
This is the guy that Kyle Shanahan said grew the most between last year and this year in this offense. Another free release into the middle of the field versus the cover 2 defense, and a well-thrown ball there by Rex Grossman. Early in the game, we saw Rex Grossman throw over the middle high on a number of throws. That was perfect there, and Fred Davis is able to protect himself as best he could after the catch.
Play action now. Grossman finds Moss. And as these stats, Troy, start to pile up, he may have started out slowly, but Rex Grossman is coming on and putting together a very solid opening day start.
He's got to feel pretty good about it. You know, I mean, as he as this game has gone along, particularly late in the first half, to drive down and get the touchdown, and then here in this second half, you can see him really settle in, and that's natural. You know, to come into this game, who knows how long that leash was that Mike Shanahan put him on when the game began.
Here is Hightower, who stutter steps, gets a yard and a half. Grossman has thrown for 252 yards, 1 touchdown, and maybe most importantly has not turned it over. A quarterback rating of 102.7.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing there, Joe, because if you look at his starts over the course of his career, I mean, the fact that he hasn't turned the ball over yet in this game, whether it be an interception or a fumble, is somewhat surprising, because he averaged well over 1 turnover a game in the ones that he started.
Empty backfield behind him. Grossman is sacked, and it's Jason Pierre-Paul. Second-year player out of South Florida, had 4.5 last year, now has his first, and it's a big one.
He does a nice job. Trent Williams, again, is the one who's trying to protect him, and he just goes right through him. And you know, Jason Pierre-Paul, as we know, he was raw last year. He came on at the end of last season. The last game of the year, he had 2 sacks against these Redskins. That's a matchup that he has liked there against Trent Williams.
There's Grossman under pressure, who in 34 starts coming into today had thrown 35 interceptions, fumbled it 20 times. He's protected the ball today as he is brought down at midfield. And it's Tollefson who got the start in place of the injured Tuck there to make the play. And a loss of 16 yards to the delight of Justin Tuck.
Yeah, that was, here they come. And even the ones that they could block, they didn't block. You know, a lot of times you'd like to tell the quarterback, hey, you've got to get that ball out of your hands. He couldn't even escape the pocket to try to get rid of that ball.
That is such a big sack for Tollefson. Instead of a 52-yard field goal attempt from the range of Gano, it's a punt. And still a 7-point game as this ball checks up just outside the 10. Rex Grossman was swallowed up. And it wasn't just Tollefson there for the Giants. New York has it, down by 7. Eli Manning and the Giants offense setting up in their huddle. As you look at their last 3 possessions, they start this one at their 10. Down by 7. Eli Manning is sacked and almost lost the football. London Fletcher and Neal, the rookie, in there again. A loss of 8.
Well, you got Neal here, and then you're going to see the late blitz, the delayed blitz. So you got Neal working there on David Boss. He's able to get the pressure immediately, and then London Fletcher comes in there to take it away. Just an excellent job there. I mean, each of these possessions, it seems here, the last several times, they've been backed up, and they've just not been able to execute the offense. This defense, we've seen them really grow up here in this second half.
That is the end of the third quarter. Eli Manning was looking like he was going to call a timeout. That's the end of 3. 21-14 Washington on top. Back after this from your local Fox station. We start the fourth quarter and the Giants are in trouble. 2nd down and 18 at their own 2.
Eli needs to be awfully careful down here.
They fake it to Jacobs, and Manning goes to the deeper man. It's Manningham. No catch. as he lost it going to the ground. Covered well by D'Angelo Hall.
And really a nice call by offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride. Play action, get Eli out on the edge to where you can see where all the danger is, and then you also avoid the pass rush. And they got a chance to kind of come off their goal line here, put it into 3rd and short, and Manningham's not able to make the catch.
Bobble. Manning gets it away to DJ Ware, and he's wrapped up by Hall. This Redskins team has a different look and feel about it, and for a roster that had so much turnover from a year ago, they're younger, they're better, and they've got some life.
Yeah, I'm impressed with what I've seen. This is a defense that, you know, there's no other way to say it. They just weren't very good last year. And they have come into this game the first half. The Giants were able to move the ball, but in this second half, we have seen guys making plays, and the energy level that they're playing with right now is impressive.
Weatherford picks a bad time for his shortest punt as the rookie Niles Paul hauls it in. The Redskins up 7 will start inside Giant territory at the 42.
Today's game is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Subway Restaurants. Try the new Oven Crisp Chicken Sandwich today.
The sun is starting to set on the East Coast as we play here in Landover. And Rex Grossman, who had some interesting things to say about his career, about this offense, plays in here in Washington, brings his team to the line at the Giants 42, up by 7, and gives to Hightower, running right, got to the 40.
No, you look at this drive right here, and if you're Rex Grossman and you get the field position that you currently have in a 7-point lead, you know, he's got to be thinking about one thing, and that's getting the ball to the 30-yard line. So if nothing else, you give your kicker an opportunity to kick a field goal and make this a 2-possession game. Your defense is playing great, and yes, they'd like to punch it in and get a touchdown, but right now his focus has got to be getting 1 first down and knowing that you can at least come away with 3 points and turn it into a 2-possession ball game.
On second down, Grossman flings it down, nearly picked off by Webster. Trying to force it into Santana Moss. And Webster almost made a brilliant interception.
Boy, sure did. And the pressure in the middle on Rex Grossman by Jason Pierre-Paul is why he ended up just kind of turning it loose when he shouldn't have. He was fortunate there. Here's the pressure inside by Jason Pierre-Paul that, you know, Grossman didn't want to have to throw it when he did. He wanted to see a little more separation. But they got away with one.
Now it's 3rd down and 9. There's some confusion in the defensive backfield. Now Grossman turns it over. There's the turnover, and Boley will be wrestled down inside the 30. Jason Pierre-Paul knocked it out, and Michael Boley picked it up and returned it 13 yards.
Well, we've seen Jason Pierre-Paul beat Trent Williams on the outside. This time he gives him a head move to the outside. He comes inside, and then you're going to see it. He comes in, and the ball, you've got to know when you're getting tackled at quarterback, you've got to secure the football. We talked about it moments ago. That's the thing that has plagued Rex Grossman throughout his career. He's had a number of fumbles. In limited playing time last year, he put the ball on the ground 4 times. And a punt there is not a bad thing. Yeah, you want to get at least the field goal, but at least pin the Giants offensively back like you had throughout this second half.
And now starting at the 27 are the Giants, down by 7. A jab step to his left, and now Bradshaw over the right side. picks up 5.
You know, and that speaks volumes for this Giants defense, because you can tell that they needed to make a play in order to give their offense an opportunity to tie this game up. And Jason Pierre-Paul, he's had himself a nice game as well, and he's the one then, without Justin Tuck playing, who's able to step up and do it.
2nd down and 5. Manning completes. That's Hynoski, the fullback. And the rookie is upended by Doughty. A gain of 4.
I like this Hynoski. I think he's a dying breed. There's not a lot of fullbacks like him.
Got a fullback name, Henry Hynoski, free agent from Pitt.
That's as good a fullback name as you can get, I guess.
Old school.
Daryl Johnson was a pretty good fullback name.
It's 3rd down and 1. Toss to Bradshaw. And the Redskins defense makes another play. Barry Caulfield, the former Giant, came in, made the play, and now the field goal unit will come on for the Giants.
Just playing fast. See Reed Doughty, everybody's flowing over the top, and then they get the pursuit on the backside by Barry Caulfield, and then London Fletcher's there to clean it up. And that's what Jim Haslett was talking about, that the defense last year, they were learning a new scheme. They've gone from the 4-3 to the 3-4 this year. In preseason, what he had seen, everyone was playing fast, and we've certainly seen that.
38-yard drive for Tynes, and it's blocked. Picked up by Fletcher, and the Redskins up by 7, take over at the 30. Tell you the direction of that ball. That didn't look like it had a chance, whether it was blocked or not. Redskins up by 7, take over. Redskins take over at their 30, up by 7. This pass caught by Moss, and Santana spins his way to the 44. Let's go back to the block.
Well, you can see it's good snap, good hold, and I agree with you, Joe, that when Tynes kicked it, I don't know that even if it wasn't blocked, it was going to have a chance. It looked like it was going to be hooked, but Arakpo, and he didn't even really have to get off the ground very much. I mean, it was a low kick to go along with it.
And now 1st down at the 44. Here is Hightower. And there is nowhere to go, lost half a yard.
Some of the struggles that we've seen from the Giants offensively, to talk about it again, Joe, you go through the preseason and they did not play well, and they did not score points. Eli Manning did not look very good in the preseason, and I think for a veteran team, oftentimes you just say, okay, well, when the games count, we're going to turn it on and we're going to make it happen. And that certainly is not always the case, and a lot of the things that plagued them in the preseason we've witnessed again here this afternoon.
Empty backfield behind Grossman, who throws for Cooley up to midfield. The NFL is holding a special auction to benefit 9/11 charities. Autographed game-worn jerseys from today's games, along with today's game ball and other unique NFL items, will be auctioned off to raise money for Tuesday's Children and My Good Deed. Visit NFL.com/auction today to bid on items. The completion to Cooley was good for 6.
And Grossman took a pretty good shot after that play, and looked like he was shaking the cobwebs out a little bit as he got into the huddle there.
3rd down and 4. And whistle stop play with Hightower wide open, but everybody's shut down. It's 2 teams so far.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Rex Grossman going to make his way over the referee and say, I got that off. He didn't. These two teams today have combined to go 4 for 20 offensively on third down. This is 2 plays ago on the completion to Cooley.
Yeah, it was Dave Tollison, actually his right guard, Chris Chester. It was just a simple tackle, defensive end twist, and Chris Chester missed it. You could see, you know, Rex, the quarterback's not supposed to get hit on something that simple.
Now third down and 9. Short of the first down is Davis, and he is tapped. But a penalty flag comes in on the stop. Webster and Roll were there and will get the call. If there's any face mask at all, whether, let's take a look, on the field, and they will potentially call him a defenseless player.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 26. Going ahead of the receiver. A 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Well, because of that hit, it prevents the Giants from getting the football.
That's right, and now it's going to, you know, put them one step closer to being in field goal range, and that's just, I mean, all he had to do was come over and touch him. He was on the ground.
Would have been 4th down and 2. Instead, it brings up a first down at the Giants 33. That is a big penalty on Antrell Roll. Grossman throws, and across his body too high for Paulson, and that made Aikman sit up in his chair here in the broadcast booth. That was dangerous. Next weekend on the FX Saturday game of the week, it'll be the Syracuse Orange taking on Matt Barkley in Southern Cal. FX Saturday college football game of the week. Charles Davis, Gus Johnson, presented by Russell Athletic and High Def. Next weekend only on FX. Roy Halou, the rookie, gets it. And with both arms on the football, he gets 2.
That's an interesting choice right there by Kyle Shanahan to put Elu in the lineup as a rookie down here, and that's, you know, why I cringed a little bit when Rex threw that other ball. Is to go back what I said on the previous possession. I mean, right now they're in field goal range, and a 10-point lead with the way your defense is playing and 7.5 minutes to play in the game is huge. And so you've got to be pretty careful of what you're doing. To put Helu in as a rookie, you say, okay, you know, is he not going to cough it up? Obviously, they had the confidence that he wouldn't. But now they've got Hightower back in.
It would be a 49-yard try from here. Grossman cannot get sacked. And instead he completes to Davis. What a day for Davis. And the former second-round pick out of USC is good for 22.
Well, he's having himself an awfully good game as well. There's a few of these Redskins that have had nice games, and you know, for him to be able to make that catch and then make some people miss, I just think that right now to come out in the first game of the season for him, a lot's been expected of him. You know, obviously he's been overshadowed by Chris Cooley, but with Cooley coming out off of the injury, they needed him to play well today, and he has.
On first and goal, Hightower is brought down at the line of scrimmage. Looking at the numbers for Fred Davis, how many people are online right now looking at their fantasy league, seeing if Fred Davis is available to pick up as a tight end?
Well, a lot of what we've seen from Fred Davis on some of these big plays that he's made, he's gotten free releases off the ball, and you can bet next week when they play Arizona, they're going to be watching at this film, and they're going to be jamming him up at the line. You give a guy with that kind of ability and size a free run off the line and don't jam him, you know, it puts a lot of pressure on a defense, and those guys are hard to control.
Here is Hightower, and Tim Hightower will take it inside the 5 to the 4 with under 6 to play. Just to get back to Grossman, he was talking about his early days in Chicago, and he said, when I was a younger quarterback, and you touched on this earlier, I always wanted to make the big play. This offense allows me to be more disciplined. I no longer want to be a gunslinger like in Chicago, which is probably why I was so inconsistent. He said every time he drops back, the ball is specifically to go to one receiver. If it's not there, then the progression follows. It's 3rd down and goal. Grossman, near side, touchdown, Gaffney.
His old college buddy here, Jabbar Gaffney, who he was excited to get reunited with coming into this season. And you're going to see the route. He just sets Webster up, and then a good thrown ball by Rex Grossman. Now, he knew where he was going with the ball because they vacated the middle of the field. The one guy who could take the slant away came up at the line of scrimmage, and so Rex knew immediately he had Gaffney. All Gaffney then had to do was win on the route, and he did.
Yes, Grossman has turned it over on a fumble, but he has his 4th career 300-yard passing day. He said it's specific where he's supposed to go with the ball every time he drops back. This one was supposed to go to Gaffney, and it did for the touchdown.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
How many people during the offseason, when they heard that Mike Shanahan was going to go with a combination of John Beck, Rex Grossman, and then when Grossman was named the starter, thought, Rex Grossman? Well, he has thrown for 300 yards today. That's what he did on that last drive after his fumble. And now the Redskins are up by 14. A steep hill to climb for the Giants, who will start this hill at their 20. Giants defense trying to regroup. They've missed the playoffs each of the last 2 years. On the road, trailing by 14 in a game they were favored in, 28-14 Skins.
I'm going to take you through the thought process of a quarterback. Here's Michael Boley. As soon as Rex Grossman sees him come up on man coverage on Hightower, he's got to watch this guy here, and he's the only one then that can come underneath that slant route on the outside. Grossman holds him, and then he has to have Gaffney win on the route against Corey Webster. Gaffney did, and that's why Grossman went with him for the touchdown.
And on top of that, it was a perfect throw from Rex Grossman. Now the Giants down by 2 touchdowns, starting at their 20. Blitz. Haslett is still bringing them, and the pass is complete for 7 yards to Hickson. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Arizona's Patrick Peterson showing why he was the 5th pick of the draft, not only as a corner, but as a return guy. Runs through the tackles, down the sidelines. Hey, he almost starts celebrating too early, but nonetheless, he scores from 89 yards on the punt, and Arizona leads Carolina 28-21. Joe Troy and Penn.
Yeah, he was a tremendous athlete. He showed that at the combine.
The Giants wasting a lot of time here substituting players. They need 2 possessions to get back in it.
They have 2 timeouts left. That's it. Pass is complete downfield for Hakeem Nicks. Good for 15 and a Giant first down.
We've seen Jim Haslett bring the pressure. Now, the area where they really struggled last year was giving up big plays. That's the one thing that they cannot afford to do. They can give up a touchdown here, but they've got to make the Giants take time off the clock in order to get down there and do it. They cannot give up a big play. They keep bringing the pressure. They're going to expose themselves to some degree.
4 men on the rush, and Manning just got rid of it. Rocky McIntosh was up the back of Eli Manning.
They're mixing it up pretty good right now. Here's Rocky McIntosh in the middle, and he delays, and he sees he's on Ahmad Bradshaw in man coverage, and that's a read dog, meaning that if Ahmad Bradshaw had gone out on the route, then Rocky McIntosh would have been in coverage. As soon as he saw him stay in to help in protection, he comes on the blitz.
2nd down and 10. minutes, but a penalty flag flew before the snap. Another delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
The owner's box is right next to our broadcast booth, and I thought Daniel Snyder was going to jump out the window yelling at the referee to call delay of game.
He's usually got that luxury suite packed with dignitaries. Today is no exception. Mike Shanahan, in his second year, has to be pleased with what he's seen on both sides of the ball so far today. Under 4 to go, and Manning goes down again. This time it's Bowen.
There he is right here. You can see this time they do it with a 4-man pressure. They don't bring any linebackers, just 4-man rush up front. That's all they needed.
Went right through Deal, who moved this year back to left guard, and now is trying to get a little yardage. It's incomplete for Manningham, and we've seen that look a lot from Eli Manning.
Well, I said it a little bit earlier. I couldn't be more impressed with what I've seen here in the second half by this Redskins defense. Now, you know, ultimately, I guess we don't really know yet what the Giants have offensively. But considering the Giants being able to move the football, going over 200 yards there in that first half, the way the Redskins came out in the second half and played, pretty good.
Here is Banks, from just outside the 20. Diassi, the first one down there, the long snapper. And a return of 12 yards, and here's a recap. I'll try to catch up. That was a touchdown to Armstrong. Then it was Ryan Kerrigan, the rookie, batting it in the air, picking it off, taking it in. Tynes had one blocked by Arakpo, and Grossman has had a 300-yard day. The latest points put up by Gaffney. And the quarterback numbers, no comparison. Hightower, full head of steam, carries it for 5.
You know, when we were visiting with Mike Shanahan the other day, Joe, and I asked him, because the defense was so poor in 2010, and I said, what do you expect out of your defense this year? And he said, I hope we're better. And so does that man right there. And today, you know, you talk about the things that they've been able to do here in this second half with really some young players. And it's hard going from a 4-3 defensive scheme and making that transition to a 3-4 like Jim Haslett did last year. But the organization was committed to it. They brought in Ryan Kerrigan to solidify the other outside linebacker position to go along with Brian Arakpo, and then in the middle with Barry Cofield. And who would have thought that the other rookie, Chris Neal, would come in and have the impact that he has had. But an awfully good performance by this defensive team.
Yeah, they seem to have really drafted well this past April. We welcome in a new audience. Tim Hightower just carried for a Redskins first down. This was a tie game at the half, and as we welcome you in, this has been a second half that's been dominated by the Redskins on both sides of the ball. If you're just checking this game out, Rex Grossman has been very good. Did turn it over once, but he's over 300 yards passing. 305. Kerrigan, the rookie Ryan Kerrigan, with a 9-yard interception return that looked like Clay Matthews of the Packers batting in the air and picking it off, carrying it in. The day for Eli Manning has not been good. And here's the play by number 91, Ryan Kerrigan, which gave the Redskins a 21-14 lead. Remember, this is a Redskins team, Troy, that's playing without Jarvis Jenkins, who was rapidly becoming their best defensive lineman, second-round pick out of Clemson, who tore his ACL week 3 of the preseason at Baltimore.
And they're playing without LaRon Landry, you know, who is a heck of a player in his own right. And so I don't know that Giant fans really want to hear about all that with the number of players that they have that aren't playing. But it's a nice job, really. And for Rex Grossman, you know, coming into this game that he really wanted to prove to everybody, mostly his teammates, that Mike Shanahan made the right call when he named him on Monday the starter for this Redskins offense. And you know, a little bit shaky early in the game, but he settled in, and he's made some nice plays. He'll be able to enjoy this tonight, and then it'll all start all over again tomorrow morning.
And they will go to work preparing for Arizona, while the Giants will have a Monday night game at home against St. Louis next week. St. Louis lost big at home to Philadelphia's Hightower, who's had a nice debut. Giants are out of timeouts, and that carry will take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll take a break, come back. Final 2 minutes. Eli hanging his head on the sideline. His club down by 14. Redskins did not lead this game until that Ryan Kerrigan play in the third quarter. Now they lead by 14 with 2 minutes to go. And Rex Grossman is faced with a 3rd and 4. His own 48.5. Hightower won't get it. The last time Washington beat the Giants week 1 was 1976. Giants had won 6 straight against the Redskins, 9 out of 10, but today it's Manning and company taking it across the chin. Down by 14, about to get it back, but no timeouts left. Hickson waiting for the punt from Sav Rocca. They'll just take a timeout.
Timeout. Washington
for the play clock.
A 30-second timeout.
Expired. Fox's football coverage does not end when the games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT, where Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy bring you extended highlights, expert analysis, and a look ahead to next week's action. America's #1 pregame show, and of course, America's #1 postgame show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, is coming up next after a special sneak preview of the X Factor only on Fox.
You know, I'm reminded by something Bill Parcells used to always say after the first week of games, and that is, you know, half the teams feel really good about themselves and the other half wonder if they'll ever win a football game that season. And you know, if you're the Redskins and you've made the improvements you thought you've made, then this is a game against a divisional opponent at home that you really need to win. So for them to take care of business is something that they really needed to do. On the other hand, for the Giants, you know, not an easy place to come in and play, but yet still disappointing. They'll travel back home next week, and they'll play a St. Louis Rams team that also had a tough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles earlier today.
Yeah, I was going to take in that direction as well, and obviously there's a long way to go. But after one weekend, with the curtain coming up on the season, this is a good start and a big day for Shanahan, Haslett, Kyle Shanahan, Grossman, and that defense, which seems to really be a lot better than a year ago. 2nd and 10.
Well, they're smart coaches for another week. I mean, that's the way that it works in this league. And Rex Grossman is a great quarterback for a week, and that's not just true of him. That's true of all quarterbacks in this league that are trying to prove themselves. But you're right. You know, I mean, there's a lot of expectations for this franchise, and this is a team came into this year, and not a lot of people are expecting much out of them. In fact, Mike Shanahan said, hey, I kind of like being under the radar a little bit.
So again, the Giants have not made the playoffs the last 2 years, and they are about to lose a game they thought they should win. They came in as the favorite. Here's Hickson for a first down. Remember, the Giants are out of timeouts. And Eli Manning will take his team up to the line. His time is running out on this one here in Landover. Here's Nix. Josh Wilson makes the stop, a gain of 8.
And these are the yards that every defensive coordinator hates. You know, they're playing soft and giving up the underneath throws. So at the end of the day, there'll be yardage on there that was pretty meaningless.
Instead, they get a sack from Adam Carricker, former first-round pick of the Rams, and he has found a home here at defensive end with the Redskins, and that's how this one's going to end. That is the 4th Washington sack of the day. The curtain came up, and these Skins at home now will take a bow. Big debut for Ryan Kerrigan. And one of the most criticized quarterbacks in the last few years. A great opening day start. Rex Grossman and the Redskins beat the Giants by 14. Back after this.